I'm Miss Lisa from the Stuart C. Meyer Harker Heights Public Library, and today we are going on a field trip. That's right, we are going to the Pet Adoption Center right here. This is the Harker Heights Pet Adoption Center. We often call it the PAC, and I thought that you would want to go with me inside to see exactly all the jobs that are being done in here, and also maybe look at some cute kitties, maybe some cute puppies, just to let you know. Now, we gave them a call to let them know we were coming because they like for us to get an appointment. So we have an appointment. We're just going to go right on in and we're going to knock on the door, okay? I already see a puppy over there. Already see one. Can you see one?
Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi, how are you today? Come on in.
It's good to see you, Shiloh.
Hi.
Well, this is my friend Shiloh Webster. She is in charge of the Pet Adoption Center. So Shiloh, can you tell us what your job title is and a little bit about what you do?
Yes, I am the shelter manager here at the Harker Heights Pet Adoption Center. And my job is kind of like a wide variety of roles here, but basically we are the animal shelter for the Harker Heights city. And so we take in strays, we take in pets that are looking for new homes, and we find them new homes and get the lost animals back to their families. So that's our main job here.
Wow, so what would it take? What kind of education do you need in order to work here at the Pet Adoption Center?
Well, the good thing about working at an animal shelter is you don't need a lot of training beforehand. Obviously, you should like animals and have some experience with animals, preferably a lot of animals, different types of animals, and be comfortable handling them and being around cats and dogs and other types of critters. But there's not really a lot of schooling that's required ahead of time. Most of the training is done on the job, and so once you get hired on, then you're trained to do the specific jobs that you'll be doing.
I bet that does take a lot of training.
It does.
Just like anything, in order to do a good job, you have to continue to train.
Yeah.
So do you mind taking us through the Pet Adoption Center, and maybe we can meet some of your other employees as we go along?
All right, let's go. We're going to start over here in the cat side.
Oh, the cat
All
side.
right. So this is our cat adoption room, and we'll come through here. We only have a few cats for adoption right now. And a couple of them are a little nervous. They're new, so we give them a towel so they can kind of have some privacy if they choose to. But you'll see down here we have little Coconut, who she's an older girl. She's about 15 years old, and so she is looking for a new family. And then up here we've got Mr. Orange Thunder, who just got neutered yesterday, so he's now ready for adoption. And typically we would have a lot of kittens, but this has not been a normal year because of the COVID-19 restrictions and everything. And so a lot of our kittens are in foster homes, and so they're able to run around and be normal kittens, grow up in a home environment instead of in a shelter. And then when they're old enough, they'll come back, get neutered, spayed or neutered, get their vaccines, and go up for adoption.
Wow, if you wanted to be a foster family for animals, I'm sure you can't just walk up. What do you have to do?
Right. So our fosters, they first have to be approved to volunteer through the city. So there is a volunteer process, and all that happens over at City Hall. There's a packet to fill out. They do a background check, make sure that you're approved to volunteer, and then once you're approved volunteer, we send out a postcard and let you know, yay, you've been approved to volunteer. And then you come to an orientation, and then you can foster at that point. So it's a little bit of a process, but once you're established as a foster, then you can let us know when you're ready, what types of animals you want to foster. Typically it's kittens, sometimes it's puppies too. And occasionally we have an older cat or dog that might just need a break from the shelter.
Well, we know that even when you want to do a lot of helping, you still have to have training, and we still have to do everything exactly the right way so that we can do a great job, right?
Yep.
Can you show us some other cool things?
Yes. So we have these great catios that are a new addition as of about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And so these allow the cats to kind of roam free and give them a little bit more space to kind of do, whatever they want to do. And so we've got one cat in here, 2 cats in here, And then just because we have a handful of barn cats, which are really your outside feral community cats, they're not super social around people, but we're trying to give them a chance to be readopted out to be mousers, you know, and provide that service to their community too, rodent patrol. So these guys are hanging out in this catio, and it just kind of gives them space so they can get comfortable being around people, other cats, etc. So if anybody's looking for a barn cat, we have some.
So this is kind of like their career.
Right, yeah.
I didn't think about that. It's kind of like their
They are
career.
good at rodent control, so yes. And then over here, so we do have our spay neuter clinic as well. And it is, we don't have a surgery day today, so it's, you know, it's dark in here and everything's shut down. But on a normal surgery day, one of our veterinarians would come in, and then our vet techs would be in here as well. And we spay or neuter all of the animals that are going up for adoption. Before they go up for adoption, they get spayed or neutered. They get their vaccinations, microchip, flea treatment, dewormer. And so all that happens in here. And then they go up for adoption. And so it's really nice to be able to do that here in-house. We're able to take care of it all, and then they can go up for adoption without having to, you know, transport to other vet clinics and stuff like that. So very, very cool.
And so you mentioned vet techs. So what does that stand for? What?
Right, so a vet tech is a veterinary technician, and our vet techs, we have 2 of them, and they're both full-time. There is some training that they had to do once they were hired on as well. But to be a veterinary technician, you should be focusing on science and math type studies, you know, being able to calculate dosage and medications and treatments and stuff like that is really important. A lot of that can be done on the job training as well, but we do send our vet techs to training just to make sure that they stay up on what they're supposed to be learning and stuff like that. But a lot of what they learn is hands-on as you go, and we have 2 part-time veterinarians that come in, and they're really great about showing, you know, new things too, and teaching that to our vet techs. So we're able to stay up on top of that kind of stuff.
Wow, that sounds like a great setup here.
Yeah,
So that
it's
everything
pretty
can be done
exciting.
in-house.
Yeah.
And so that everything can be done in-house. I have two of my pets came from here.
Yes.
So we know that things have been going really well here, and I like to see that.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to see some other stuff.
All right. So the next room is pretty exciting, and I haven't gone to check on them yet, so we may have a little surprise. But we have a puppy room, and our puppy room it sounds amazing. It sounds super fun, and it is. But it's also designed to keep our puppies away from general population of the rest of the dogs. Because puppies sometimes don't have all their vaccinations, they don't have their full immunity, they may be exposed to other diseases that their bodies can't fight off. So we keep them separated, and right now we have a mama with her adorable little babies, and they're just fat little roly-polies. So we'll go show you our puppy hall, and so that would be over here. And it is dark in here, so let me turn the light on. Oh, there it goes. All right, and they'll probably bark when they see us. Come on in. Now we do have room for 5, either puppies or families, but as you can see, they are just the cutest.
My goodness.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. That's Mama Honey. Her name's Honey, and she's got 6 little, they're about 5 weeks old
They
now.
are so precious.
Yeah, she's a really good mama. So this is not normal for us to keep a mama dog with puppies here. Normally, if we had a mom with puppies, we would try to find them either a foster home or a rescue to go to. She is a little bit different because our goal is to reunite her with her original owner. But until she's weaned to the puppies, we can't do that. So we are housing her here a little bit longer. She's doing an excellent job with her babies, and we're making sure they get lots of social playtime. And then once she's weaned them, then we'll make sure she gets spayed, and then she'll be readopted by her owners. But otherwise, her puppies are just the cutest things in the world.
Oh, I know. It must be hard to ever leave this room.
It is. Yeah, this is like
I see
therapy.
you.
You know, we come in here
I
and we get
know,
our
I
little
see you.
snuggles and stuff.
I see
so.
you. Yeah,
But
she's-
normally this would be, you know, even a single puppy that comes in that's under 6 months old, you know, would come into one of these kennels. Or, you know, sometimes we get a couple of puppies at a time. And so there are days where this whole room is full, but because she's in here with her babies, we're trying to keep it a little bit, less traffic in and out with other dogs, so yeah. But that's Honey, and this is our puppy room.
So cute.
Yeah, she's pretty adorable. All right. And then we'll go through the back of our shelter, kind of where all the volunteers, you know, I mean, we have volunteers that come in to help clean cages, walk dogs, socialize animals, laundry, dishes, stuff like that. So right now with the COVID-19 restrictions, we are still having volunteers make appointments to come in so we know who's going to be here when. But, you know, normally without those restrictions, once you're approved to volunteer, you can just show up anytime. But for now, we are having everybody schedule an appointment so we know who's going to come in when. But I'll show you where kind of all the stuff happens in the back. So this is
All right.
This is the back of the kind of where all the cleaning happens. We've got our laundry room here. Laundry is typically going all day, every day. When you have a shelter full of animals, you've just got a lot of laundry. So we do catch up on it and get everything done, but then it starts all over again the next day. So.
Now, your washing machine
Yeah.
and dryer
Yeah.
look a lot bigger than mine.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. They are the commercial size ones, and we got those about 5 years ago, and they make laundry a lot easier because we can fit a lot more in there. So yeah, those are pretty awesome. So we've got our break room here, and then back here is kind of our where everything happens. So dishes and you know, litter
That's a lot of
pans over
dishes.
here. Dogs that need baths, we can bathe them here. You know, there's kind of all kinds of stuff that goes on back here, medications, you know, getting plates of food ready to dish out to the cats and kittens and stuff like that. So this is kind of a, normally a very busy area, and but we try to tidy up in between to make sure that everything stays clean. And then we do occasionally take in other animals than cats or dogs. So this is a little pigeon, I believe, that was picked up today, got an injured wing. And so we're gonna try and get her to a wildlife rehabilitator since she is injured and we can't release her. But we do pick up birds, you know, any kind of wildlife if it's injured, and certainly any type of animal really that might need some help. So.
What would be one of the most unusual animals that you've ever picked up?
So not really unusual. We've had a few potbelly pigs and some goats, which, you know, it's not an unusual animal, but it's not usual for us to have them here. We have certainly picked up quite a few snakes, including like, you know, domestic, well, like ball pythons and stuff, where you know it was somebody's pet that got out. So we picked up a few of those. We had a bearded dragon. We've had actually a couple of birds.
Wait a minute.
Like,
Did you say a bearded dragon? Do you mean like
Yeah. No.
What, like
No.
what? Like what?
So it's like it's a lizard.
A little lizard? Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanna make sure.
So yeah, I mean they're probably about. I mean this one was probably about this long with a tail, but
pretty
yeah,
big.
yeah, it's still, you know, not super common to find running around loose, but he did get adopted by somebody
Awesome.
who wanted a lizard. Yeah. But we recently had a green-cheeked conure, which is a very, very pretty green and red and kind of black-colored bird, and landed on somebody's shoulder, and they didn't know where it lived, and so they brought it here, and nobody came looking for him, so he got adopted. So we don't get a lot of birds, but occasionally we do. Yep. But yeah, unusual, I'd have to think about that. I don't think we've had anything like exotic. Well, we had a sugar glider once, which I think that was the only sugar glider we've ever had. But yeah, we don't find a lot of exotic animals around here, which is a good thing.
Well, that is good.
So these are just kitties that are hanging out for whatever reason. This one is covered because she's a little shy. And she is a mama cat with a single kitten that was brought in a few days ago. And she is doing a good job of raising her baby. He's probably, where is he, baby? There he is.
I know. Look at that.
So, she's gonna want to hide again, but
You're gonna want to hide.
Yeah.
I know. You shouldn't. You're like, dude, I have things to do.
so we will probably get her into a foster home here shortly. When they first come in, we want to make sure, number one, that they're flea treated and dewormed, so we're not sending them into foster homes with those kind of parasites. And then we want to make sure that they're healthy, there's no upper respiratory or any kind of issues going on before we send them to a foster home. So we usually give them a day or two just to make sure all treatments are started. And then if they're real cute and social like these, it's not hard to find a foster for them. And that little guy is just the cutest thing ever. He loves his mom. He just loves his mom.
He's just
yeah.
darling.
And she is super sweet. She's just a little nervous here, but she's a good mama. All right.
Oh, Mama.
And then back here, so we have, as you can see, we talked a little bit about laundry, and this is kind of what our volunteers, some of our volunteers do when they're here is organizing and putting away laundry and kind of restacking towels and blankets, because you can see it gets pretty disheveled throughout the day as we pull stuff out. And so we have some really amazing volunteers who just love to organize, and we love it when they're here because they just go through and make everything look fantastic again. But otherwise, we take in donations from people. We have a lot of people who will donate blankets and towels and bedding, and then, you know, of course, any kind of dog or cat related items like food and toys and stuff like that. And so, you know, those donations are used here in the shelter, or if we can't use them, we'll pass them on to people who can. So it's really a great way that we can kind of pay it forward. And then these little guys, so these are another litter that just came in yesterday. Cutest things ever. Didn't come in with a mommy, so luckily they are old enough that they can eat on their own, so they're not having to be bottle fed. But they were just absolutely loaded with fleas. So they got a flea treatment, and they're doing great, as you can see. And we will work on getting them into a foster home this week as well. But once so a lot of people, our biggest, probably our number one request right now is kittens. People are calling and Facebook messaging, do you guys have kittens for adoption? And, you know, because they see that we're taking them in, and they want to adopt them. And so a lot of people really want kittens at this age. They want something 6 weeks old that they can take straight home. And we don't have a problem with them wanting that, but for our shelter, we do require that they be spayed or neutered before they leave here. And so for that to happen, they have to be at least 8 weeks old for the surgery, and then they have to be at least 12 weeks old for the rabies vaccine. So really, they have to be 12 weeks old for us to adopt them out. So what that means is these little guys will be in our system for the next 6 weeks. That's why we get them out to foster, so they don't have to grow up in a cage. But then once they're available, I mean, our kittens get adopted as fast as we put them up for adoption. So, and it's great because, you know, they all end up finding homes. So
That's great.
yeah, super cute.
Super cute, I know.
All right, and then behind you here is our cat intake room. So if you lost your cat, and I'll unplug this here really quick. We do have some music for them. If you lost your cat and you were looking for your missing cat, our new intake kitties would come in here initially. So for the first 72 hours, we would put them in here, and or sometimes, you know, some of these back cages, it's a larger group, but normally they would come straight in here. And that gives us the first 72 hours to see if they, number one, have a microchip, maybe they have an owner looking for them, kind of see how their temperament is a little bit, if they're friendly, if they're fearful, if they're really feral, and then if they're handleable enough that they can go up for adoption, then we get them spayed or neutered first. But this is our intake room, and so you can see this little guy here that came in all by himself too. And we have some that are just a little shy. They just need a little bit more time to come around. So, and that's okay too. We don't expect everybody to just, you know, be ready for adoption right away. But that little one really does want some attention. Alrighty, and then over this way we have our dog hall. So our dog hall will be very loud when we go in there. So you may not be able to hear any talking, but when we first walk in, it'll be our dog intake side. And that's just where all the stray dogs stay. So when they first come here, they're gonna be on intake. And again, our goal is to find their families. Our goal is to get them reunited with their families. And so if we can do that, awesome. If they have a microchip, we're gonna call the owners. But hopefully their owners are gonna be looking for them as well. And so if they get reclaimed, perfect, that's what we want. If they don't get reclaimed, then after 4 days, they'll get spayed or neutered, go up for adoption and move over to the adoption side. So we'll go walk through the dog intake and then out into the yard, and then we'll come back adoption side so you can kind of see where our dogs stay as well. And they have music playing too. So down here is our dog intake, and you can kind of see who's here right now. You're okay. You're okay. All right. So you can see some of them don't exactly act super friendly in their kennels. So that's part of working with animals too, is I think a lot of people always assume that all the dogs are super friendly and all the cats are super cuddly, and they're not. Some dogs really do want to bite you, and so you really have to be able to be careful and read animal language and know that if you open up that kennel, you know what is likely that dog's going to do. And so that's kind of one of the things that you learn if you're not comfortable around dogs as you work around them. You really have to pick up on that body language and what they're trying to tell you through that behavior.
So animals are like people, they're individual.
They just can't really tell you. Well, they tell you through body language, not through words. And so, you know, but obviously if you look at Brutus, the big mastiff at the end, he's very obvious what he's trying to tell you, and it's that don't come near me. So if you wanted to go in there, you may or may not have an issue. So this is our dog yard, and we have two sides to it. And right now we're just out here enjoying some fresh air. When people are wanting to adopt an animal, they can come spend some time with a dog. They can come spend some time with them outside. Just see if it's a good fit for them or not.
What, Lucky? What, Lucky? Alright, go back inside now. It's hot out here. These are our dogs for adoption.
To us walking by than others, and then some of them, like Angel here, really quiet, really timid. She's got a bit in there, but she just sits here at the front shaking. She's just a really nervous dog, and so she's one of those dogs who, with her age and with her breed, it's just going to take a little bit longer to find that right family for her, but she's really a sweet dog, so we'll continue to work to try and find that perfect home for her as well. And she does, you know, staff will take her out on walks, and she enjoys walks outside. So she gets out throughout the day as well, just to get a little bit more one-on-one time with her, because she's just she's depressed. She's a little depressed here, so yeah. And then Dinah, she's does that taste good? Silly girl.
I noticed that a lot of your dogs have cones on them. What is that for?
So the cones they're called Elizabethan collars. and they are to prevent the dogs from licking at their incision. So all the dogs that have a cone on were recently spayed or neutered, so they had surgery. And of course, since we can't observe them all the time, we want to make sure they don't lick at their incisions and cause those incisions to come open and have complications afterwards. And so they wear the cones to keep themselves from licking it. And then we a lot of times we'll take it off when we're outside, give them a little bit of a break from it. But yeah, they keep it on for about 2 weeks, or if they get adopted, and then we let the new owners know that they need to continue that at home as well. So these are our doggies.
They like jazz.
They do. Yeah,
I like jazz. They like jazz.
And so just to introduce a couple other staff, India, here's our receptionist. She's on the phone right now. But she does a lot of adoptions. She does meet and greets. She takes, she answers phones all day long. People that are bringing in stray animals, she'll handle the intake and the owners that are reclaiming their pets. So really any kind of transaction where an owner would be either surrendering or picking up their animal, India's great at that. And then we can walk through back here and introduce a couple of our other staff as well. This is Erica. She's our pet adoption coordinator. And so her job is kind of, if you can just imagine anything that may happen that has to do with coordinating not only adoptions, but also getting ready for surgeries, entering medical notes, contacting owners. She just does everything. So, and she's great at organizing. So if you're interested in that type of a job, Erica, what would be some things that should be
qualifications?
Yeah, qualifications.
Well, a lot of what I do has to do with typing, and so I think one of the things I want to promote is English. That is my major. Actually, I went to college and I'm an English major, and so there's a lot of writing involved, so you got to be good at communication, you got to be able to read, write, get your point across. So I think that's really important.
I am so glad that you said that. I would not have thought that being an English major would really be very helpful, but it's good to know. I was an English major too, so
Very cool. All right, and then we do have Marie back here. Marie is one of our kennel technicians, and she is very hands-on with the animals, cleaning, but also feeding, and I don't know, Marie, what else do you do?
Feed, clean, laundry, socialize animals.
Yeah.
A
lot of the hands-on stuff. But she also, Marie started out as part-time receptionist, and so she then moved up to the kennel technician position, and so she also has a lot of that knowledge with the, using the computer, doing adoptions, so she can fill in, do anything at the front desk, which is really great.
Yeah.
So, but she, our kennel techs do a lot more than just cleaning. It's very hands-on with the animals, noticing if an animal is not acting right that day, or if something's off. Maybe their behavior yesterday isn't the same as today, and so bringing it to the attention of the vet techs. Hey, this dog doesn't look the same or doesn't look right, or noticing, maybe as you're cleaning a cage that that cat didn't eat at all yesterday, and so that's really important to know what's going on with those animals. So really hands-on with the animals and getting to know kind of each one.
all right. Thank you. So nice to meet you.
You too. Thank you.
All right.
we're coming back out to the front. Well, thank you so much for taking us through the Pet Adoption Center. We really appreciate it. And we love seeing your cute puppies and your cute kitties and your dogs and your cats. Now, if someone was interested in getting adopting a pet or a pet, what would you suggest they do first?
Okay, so first thing, we get a lot of people who are really excited about adopting. They really, especially right now, you know, people are, you know, quarantining at home, and so they have all this free time, which is awesome because they really want to bring a new pet into their home, and they really want to, you know, do all that kind of activities with their new animal. The most important thing I would say is do your research before you adopt. If you want a dog, know what types of breed would fit your lifestyle. If you have always loved a German Shepherd or Husky type breed, but you've never owned one, spend some time with them first, because not every dog is going to be the right fit for your lifestyle. You know, if you adopt a Chihuahua, but you really love to take 20-mile runs, that dog may not be a good fit for you. And vice versa. So if you don't like going out on daily walks, then maybe a Husky wouldn't be a good fit. And not to say that every dog of every breed is going to fit that mold, but we just see a lot of people who don't do, they don't know what they want, and so they fall in love with the first cute face, but then maybe after they've had it for a while, it's just not really working out. So in order to kind of prevent that, you know, return of the animal or rehoming of the animal, it's definitely a good idea to research your breeds, see what they're bred for, their level of maintenance and grooming, and just make sure it's a good fit for you before you commit to that. Pets are really a lifetime commitment, and that's what we try to put across, is that it's not just right now because it's cute. You know, they can live to be 15 to 20 years, cats and dogs easily, and so you need to really think about that lifetime commitment of that animal.
Well, thank you so much for helping us out today.
You're welcome.
We have had a wonderful time going through, and I appreciate you letting us know what we need to do if we want to be a pet. So, if you want to just wait a little bit, we'll see you later. Bye.